Hi everyone, my name is Ariel and I am the Volunteer and Outreach Manager for Trees Matter. I just wanted to start by saying thank you so much for volunteering for this measurement and evaluation project. There's no way that we could do it without the help of people like you, so please know that you are very much appreciated. Just to give you some background, this project that you all are a part of is part of a program that we have in partnership with SRP called the SRP Shade Tree Program, where almost every month of the year we go out into the community and distribute hundreds of free shade trees to residents all across the valley. First, they have to attend a tree care workshop to learn about how to properly plant and take care of their tree long term, and then afterwards they come outside and we distribute free trees to them. Each resident can receive up to 2 free trees for their home. This past year, we distributed over 5,000 trees, and so now it's time to evaluate how those trees are doing. And that is where the measurement and evaluation project comes into play, which you are all a part of. We've already contacted the residents who are willing to have their trees evaluated, and we've grouped those households into the same geographic areas. In order for you to do your measurement and evaluations, we will be sending you a checklist of items, including a procedure checklist, a route list with each of the residents' information, a measurement and evaluation form for each home and their corresponding trees, a tree type chart which shows what type of trees we give out in case you need to reference it against any of the trees you're evaluating, and the Ask the Arborist flyer in case any residents ask you questions about the trees that you might not know the answer to, you can hand them that flyer. And in case you're not familiar with Ask an Arborist, it's a forum that we have on our Trees Matter Facebook page, and we also have a version on our website as well, and it's basically a forum where anyone can post any question that they have about their tree, and our volunteer arborist will answer their question within 1 to 2 days. So now moving on to actually doing the measurements of the trees, there's a few items that you're going to need. You'll need a vehicle, measuring tape, compass, and your phone as well. If you don't have a compass, you can always download a compass app on your smartphone. You'll be wearing a Trees Matter t-shirt so that residents know exactly who you are as soon as you come to their home. Something to note about the route list is that the homes are already ordered from how close they are to each other, just to make the commute as easy as possible for you. In addition to that, there are phone numbers for each of the residents next to each of the addresses, just in case you need to call the residents for any reason when you arrive to their home. Some of you requested electronic or digital forms of your paperwork, so in that case you'll be able to pull the information up on your phone and just fill it out through your phone in that way. Otherwise, if you requested physical forms, I will be mailing those to you, and whether you chose digital or physical forms, you may already have those forms with you, which will be really convenient to follow along with as you watch this video. When you arrive at each of the homes, if someone is home, go ahead and let them know that you are a Trees Matter volunteer and that you are here to measure their trees. If nobody is home, feel free to just start measuring the trees as long as it says it's okay to do so. In the notes section on your route list next to each address, it'll say whether or not the resident is supposed to be home or not, or sometimes it'll say they're home and they just want a courtesy knock. So it really just depends on each resident's situation. So just make sure you're checking that note section. So using the measurement and evaluation forms that we provide you, go ahead and start measuring the trees. First, I'm going to show the physical forms and how to fill those out. Each form has the resident's info already filled out at the top. If the information is not there, simply fill in the information yourself based on the info contained in your route list. So you're going to see that there's sections to fill out information for tree 1 and tree 2. Most people do have 2 trees in their yards. The first thing you'll be filling out is the tree species. Is it a native mesquite, desert willow, and so on. The tree type should already be indicated on your route list, but just in case, you can reference your tree type chart if you need to determine the tree type yourself. Then you'll be marking the tree with the direction it is from the house. Is it on the south side of the house, maybe the west or the east? This is where the compass comes in handy as well. Next, you'll be using your measuring tape to measure how far away the tree is from the house. The tree should not be more than 15 feet away from the home for optimal shade benefits for their home, which the residents did learn about in the tree workshop they took. If it's farther than 15 feet, simply mark more than 15 feet on the form. Then, using your measuring tape again, you'll be measuring the tree's height as well as the tree's crown width to the best of your ability. Crown width is a term that refers to the overall width of the tree or the mass of foliage and branches growing outward from the trunk. Simply measure from end to end of the tree to your best of your ability. Because these trees are still so young and haven't been in the ground for more than a year, some of them may not have a crown width yet. In that case, you can write in no crown width or mark however many few inches it spreads outward, if at all. Then at the bottom you'll see a note section where you can write in anything else you think is important for us to know about the trees. Lastly, you'll want to take photos of each tree that you're measuring, and it'll let you know on your form what email to send those photos to. Now, if you have electronic versions of your forms, you'll notice that the information is essentially the same. You'll start with filling out your name, the resident's name and full address, and then you can begin filling the information of the first tree, tree 1. Beginning with tree species, orientation from the house, height, and crown width. Then you'll move on to the same thing with tree 2. And again, don't forget to take photos. You'll see there's a section at the end of your electronic form that shows an option to upload or attach photos, so definitely do so. So now that you've finished filling out your form, go ahead and let the resident know that you're leaving if they were home. If nobody was home, just go ahead and leave an Ask an Arborist flyer in their door or somewhere on the porch where it's easily visible to them. And that's it! Now you're ready to move on to the next home on your route list. Here's a few very important things to remember throughout your shift. First of all, some trees, like the desert willow, will be in winter dormancy when you are measuring them. Some of the residents might be worried that they are dead or dying. As long as the branches are still flexible and pliable, then the tree is alive. Next, do not go inside anybody's home. Volunteers are to stay in the yards of residents' homes only. Any residents who had trees in their backyard is noted on your route list in the notes section. Residents will either be home to open the gate or they have agreed to leave it unlocked for volunteers to measure. If a resident's backyard is locked when you arrive and the resident is not home, simply mark it on your form and move on to the next home. It's completely fine to chat with residents while you're there. Just please keep in mind that you do have other homes to make measurements on within the shift that you signed up for. This should be plenty of time, however, so don't worry if this is your first time volunteering for this project. Last but not least, the most important part is to have fun. I personally love seeing that so many of you sign up to do this with a partner, or with your child, or with a friend who has just volunteered to sign up to do this with you. It's my hope that you have a safe and enjoyable experience and that you'll want to do this again with us next year. Thank you for volunteering with Trees Matter, and I can't wait to hear about how your guys' experience went.